Welcome to Sales is Not a Dirty Word, the podcast that shows you how to convert 8 out of 10 sales conversations without acting like a douchebag. I'm your host, innovative sales coach Aleasha Bahr, the creator of the Black Sheep Sales Method. Because if it's a fit, it's a fact, and there's no selling involved. If you're a service provider selling your own service and you're ready to sell differently than the mainstream status quo and win more sales without pressure, pitching, or pretending to be someone else, then this is for you. If you want to know more about the Black Sheep Sales Method, then go to AleashaBahr.com. Okay, so today's episode is about hidden objections. So I've had a string of like 3 clients coming to me telling me that a sales call did not close. And I ask, did they have any objections? And they'll say, no, they just asked for referrals. Or no, they just wanted to know what time the calls were, or they wanted to know how their account is set up. And here's the thing, those are all objections. Most of the time, an objection doesn't sound like, well, I have an objection. They're not going to say it like that, right? And a lot of times they're also not just going to say it like a statement, like maybe that would catch your ear more as an objection. Questions are often objections. And there's an objection behind the question. So a lot of times what I'll see is a client just tell them the answer to the question. And if you've ever done this in your own conversations and realized that the person, you notice they're not really satisfied, right? They're not like, okay, you've answered all my questions. Now I'm moving forward, right? No, they aren't, because they're not actually satisfied. There was a motivation or real question behind that question. So, in the example of, I'd like some referrals, they're basically saying, I don't trust you. So, you really want to ask, yeah, so I'm not going to send you to anyone who's going to say anything bad. Is there something specific that you're looking to hear? Because they're basically struggling with the fact that they don't believe whatever results you promise or whatever experience that you lay out, or they feel unclear about the experience that you're laying out, or any of the above. And you want to have a deeper conversation about it. It's not that you're going to be pushing back, it's about getting curious, right? So you can also say things like, is there a concern that this wouldn't get you the results it's gotten the other clients that I've mentioned? What gives you that concern? Is there anything missing that you wish was included? These kinds of questions are going to uncover why they even want to talk to referrals, because I cannot tell you how many times somebody goes out of their way to provide a referral and they don't even contact the referral. And if I'm working with a salesperson on a team, they just can't do that. Like, maybe if you're selling your own service, you could provide that referral and have that relationship. But a salesperson needs to basically really kibosh that as soon as possible, because they start leaning on them as a crutch. Clients start getting contacted way more than they need to be because they're just trying to do their thing and have a business. And all of a sudden they're talking to all these prospects for a service that they used a while ago. They don't have time for that. And that's something that the salesperson needs to explain. We really respect our clients' privacy and time. And so what is it that you're looking to hear? And if they really push on it, you want to find other ways to solve that need. So, would it make you more comfortable if XYZ was included in the contract? Or would it make you more comfortable if we added this additional meeting or threw in a one-on-one with so and so? Or there, you can get creative once you understand what is causing them to ask for referrals in the first place, and find something that's actually going to solve it instead of giving them a referral that they never contact, because that is so frustrating. It is so much effort to link them and get them in touch and get your client who's very busy to agree to talk to somebody. Like, it's just 9 out of 10 times not worth it, and isn't even going to solve the issue if you go out of your way to provide this contact, right? Because it's a bunch of time out of your prospect and your client's life. So I see objections mishandled a lot with questions. And so there are other examples of this than asking for referrals. Like, how is my account set up? Nobody wants to know how their account's set up, right? They're trying to find out what if something's not included or if there's like a fine print or something, probably based on a previous experience or nightmare story that they've heard. So when they say, how is my account set up? You want to understand, is there something you're making sure is included in your account setup? Like, have you had a bad experience before? Like, you just want to understand what it is they really want to know so you can give them the information that they actually need. Another example would be like, well, is XYZ detail included? Whatever that is. They're trying to understand that all the things that they are scared are missing are included. So a lot of times it's a trap, and the person who is selling to them, whether it's a salesperson or a business owner, will just start listing all the in the weeds details of everything that's included because they're just answering the question that the person asked. But what they really want to know is, what am I not asking that I need to be asking? What fine print am I missing? So instead of going down this wormhole of in the weeds, just question and answer, answering all these logistical, detailed questions, it's like, is there a concern that something's missing? Is basically what you want to ask. Have you had an experience? Like, what are you trying to make sure is included? So I can just tell you that it's included or that it's not included. And a moment of silence for the worst of all the hidden objections. Let me think about it. Yes, that is also an objection. Sometimes people just genuinely need to think about it, but a lot of times it's their polite way of getting off the call. So again, you want to get curious. Sure, is it time or investment? Is there a concern that this wouldn't get you the results that you're looking for? Or what's coming up for you? Do you have some people you're going to consult or talk to? The answer is always, always to get curious, you guys. And ideally, you're uncovering these objections much sooner in the conversation so that you don't have to deal with this type of weird questions that don't end in a sale at the end of the conversation. Instead, you can address them in the moment and have a productive conversation where you're really just getting curious and getting the person the information they need because they don't feel clear enough or comfortable enough to ask what it is that they're really wanting to know. So they're asking in this like strange passive way. It might be because they don't think you'll give them a real answer if they come out and ask what they want, or it might be that they're not clear on what the hell they actually want to know. Either way, curiosity is going to solve that. So, if you want support in uncovering objections early and preventing them from even happening, which is much more effective, that is something that I do with my clients. I'll understand what it is that usually comes up, the questions they usually ask, the sticking points, the reasons for not moving forward, the context that someone needs to know before they get on the call, because you cannot educate and sell in the same conversation. Those are all things that I uncover with a client and then create a custom process to walk people through, whether that's like sending things out ahead of the call that make it a more effective conversation or the actual conversation that you're having in the moment. So if that's something that interests you, please, please, please book a sales level up call. If not, just please remember that when someone asks you a question, there is something behind that question that is the real answer they need, and you want to look into that further. So thank you so much for listening. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.